Okay, I think the levels are at a reasonable place, but I don't really know for sure. I messed with them between the last time streaming and hello. So I thought I had completely forgotten what was next, but as soon as I saw what the restore title was, it was like, oh yeah, that's what it was. So it was after underneath and the Roman numeral 2 door beyond the advanced mimic area is this level. Order of the Stick. We're using a stick to do things. And I poked my head in all the rooms, but I don't really remember what any of them appeared to be about, so I guess I'll just do them in an arbitrary. Alright, here we just get 5 mimic potions, and that's kind of it. I need to understand how this room is even asking me to do first. Okay. I guess I need to round that corner without, without the roach ever actually seeing me throw in that corner. I can only imagine achieving this by pushing a little push type thing. I'm really not sure how to start this. So one concern I have right away is like if suppose I get the mimic into like this spot up here. What I need to happen is for Mithro to be pushed. Like he'll be standing on the checkpoint and get pushed that way. Which can only happen if this mimic goes from facing here to there. So that means the next 3 mimics will have to be facing completely different directions relative to that one. Even though there's no tools here besides stunning other mimics with mimics, there's no tools that let me easily arrange which way things are facing. Like, it's even designed to be obnoxious about how to even put something onto that force in. Like, I don't know why it has to be obnoxious about that. In my opinion, just right away, this room should have a big open area here on the east side before the actual hard part to set things up in. Like, the core puzzle is getting the mimics into the right order and position and facings. The core puzzle should not be, I'm in a tiny, tight space. Just in my opinion, it's kind of a bad execution of the idea of the puzzle that I have to worry about this excessively tight space that you start out in to even set things up with. Like, clearly setting things up should be the interesting part, not like... like, this just seems unpleasant in a completely unnecessary way. At the very least, there should be some vertical clearance before the potions. Or something. instead of just a single hallway. I think I can get the first one's position if I do this. I don't know about the facing. I guess... Well, the core problem was getting the facing to behave, I would say. Seems like I need the mimic to do that first. And I have to get across this twice somehow. This fire trap is if the mimic pushes me, and there's absolutely no way to turn it off, because I'm not getting the mimic past the fire trap ever. Very precise position that I saw last time. Pushing the pickaxe, which presumably should work here too. Although I don't remember exactly how it goes. I have to move and push at the same time. this is supposed to work. Go look at the demo. Ow, are you stuck? Don't worry, Uncle Beethro. I found the way out last time you were here. Then why are you still there? No reason. I'm not actually sure I can do this. But I'll take a screenshot anyway. I can recreate that in this room. Oh yeah. Certainly not if I'm trying to do it that way. I need something. That said, I'm not really sure how this part's supposed to be possible. So, I guess this plays about the bit. And I just need to do it again. Whatever it is I do. Just need that again. Okay. Relatively easy. Once you actually try. Okay. I guess. Okay. There's a square made of squares. And what am I asked to do? This turns that off. get past here, Vitro, to drop the trapdoor anyway. What would be the point of turning that on? I don't really see any reason to do that. Feels like this room wants me to use mimics to push me through across the fire traps, but I can't do that until the trapdoors are down. And I can't do anything about the trapdoors until after the mimics are already... like, until after I've already passed this obstacle. So, what exactly supposed to be able to do here? I can turn that one off, which is completely pointless as far as I can tell. Like I can do that, but that's not going to get me across. I need to get rid of the trapdoor gates before I could ever hope to actually go across here. But I have to go across here to drop the only trapdoor there. I can't even get to it with a minute. Some part of the room that's supposed to close the trapdoor, close the fire traps or something. Because this is not... like, the spacing here is no good for going through fire traps. I can sacrifice those to will seem correct. I guess it works. Seems like using a mimic doing that is a hard requirement. And I have no idea why, but there seems to be an implication that I'm supposed to want to turn that fire trap off, which means going back to where I just came from. But there's no way to actually do that without a mimic's help, presumably. Leverage to actually push them like south of Heathrow to get them into the square, which is really a pain. I guess I can do it by having them push each other south. Just another virus. One more. Lets you do the same exact thing again. So in the end, this room will sacrifice a mimic to push twice and then do the exact same thing 4 times in a row. I guess that's fine. Okay. So I just need the seam to be able in a direction. Here, I guess we'll be double pushing seep over to, because for some reason it needs to get across this gap. I haven't examined very closely why that might be necessary, but I'm presuming that it is, since it's what seems to be being asked. Although this is kind of a problem. To push it the second time blocks it from being like this is the only set of positions that seems like they'll work for pushing it. Doesn't move onto the tile that it needs to be on from these positions. Position where the seep can be in the right place and I can push it. Like if I'm in the right position to push it, then there's a stick directly in the way of where the seep has to be. So pushing to take place in the first place. going to assume that I can't go straight to the other side of this gap and use these individually for some reason. Since otherwise, why would they be like a very similar problem to what I started out with, without anywhere to back up to. Oh, never mind, I didn't need that part. I guess that part was a red herring. Alright. So having done that, why did I do all that? I guess that puts the seed over here, which lets me kill it. Okay. Alright. I don't quite know why this mechanism is necessary.
My name is Beethro.
It doesn't seem like it serves any real purpose. Like, yeah, you need the mimic to leave, but you needed the mimic to do the room anyway. I'm curious what kind of leak this prevents. I mean, you can't really... I guess it's so if the mimic were to just go in here and kill the seep, then the screen door would close and the mimic would be stuck over here so you couldn't let yourself out. That makes sense. Okay. I just had to think about it for a minute. Okay. This looks like it's going to be a pain, but I'm pretty sure I know how I'm supposed to start at least. Actually, I'd be better off doing it that way, right? I want a rotated version of this to happen. So I need the one that's farthest from the center to be at the bottom. Somehow I have to get them over to the right side of the room. I don't really know how that's going to work. It's not even the part I was worried about. Just going back, I have to completely, entirely swap their order. Shall be first, but first shall be last. Alright, now... to be more accurate, there are many who are last and shall be first, and many who are first and shall be last. Anyway, what is this about? First room this entire level I've seen with no mimic potions, it seems like. Does that make it worse or better? Oh wait, never mind. There's a mimic potion right there. What am I trying to do here?
Clear.
Really? Oh yeah, I was not paying enough attention. That little dance is pretty cool, though. Swap. If you know it, it's pretty neat. Okay, so the goal of this room, as far as I can tell, is to get past here without killing this seed. Drop the trapdoor with B-throw, and then go back past here again without killing the seed. And also... also to somehow get past this. Oh wait, that's... Huh? Okay, that platform is almost impossible to see. I thought I was walking on pit, which I knew made no sense. Okay, so for the return path, you get a platform you can use. Fine. Okay. First, I could have just placed the relic in this area. Alright, so to get B-throw past here without killing the seed, I could either try to push B-throw or try to push the seed. Not really sure which one is better. There's not a lot of space for the seed to live in here. Starting from a position like that, I could only push the seep onto something in a very specific way. Like it wouldn't be possible to do it by turning, by I don't think that's going to ever work. There's not really any space to use for pushing B-throw either. For basically the same reason. see a way to do either one of those. Like, either keep the seat alive by moving it or by moving people past it. Neither one really seems possible. Like, the area is just too tight with this fire trap in it to arrange for anything. Don't see anything that can work. The area is too small. The fire trap is directly in the way. Anything that I would want to try. See anything that can work here. Right, about this. Understand why there are plates here. The arrows aren't just permanent. There's no way to go past the plates without. There's no way to go around the room without messing with plates anyway. Also don't know what the point of the extra 4 zeros are. Don't really achieve. Besides the annoying. This is possible, but it's the only thing that makes any sense. Room's design. I have to push a mimic through somehow. So that I can leave. The force arrows mean that I have to push it through at exactly the same time. With absolutely no delay between. Don't see a way to get all three of them through. That seems like an absolute requirement from what I can tell. I said 3, I meant 2. There are 3 mimics. I was thinking about throwing in a mimic. I said 3. As soon as I'm in almost the right position, the single move will always break it. There are sticks in the way, nothing works. So, I believe that I need Beethrow and a Mimic to go up this way at the same time, because after that I have to push this, and then I have to push that, and then I have to be able to leave. I clearly have to use a Mimic every time that I'm going past one of these fire traps. And when I need to leave, I need to go the way that there isn't a trapdoor in. So I can't use up this one until later. I can't use up this one until I'm leaving. I need it to be the one that doesn't have a trapdoor, the red door in the way. Has to be the one that I use last. Either that or I have to not use more than 2 mimics, which I don't think is possible. I mean, I don't even see a way to use only 3 mimics. There's no actual way to get the mimics that I need into the rooms that I need them in. And no matter what, they just dive in front of me. Fire trap is directly in the way. Fire trap is directly in the way. This is not especially helpful. Even if I had the 3rd mimic and could send it over to where Vithro is, that wouldn't matter. Because I have to have some way to get back out after dropping the last trapdoor. And there just isn't any way to do that. Because these force arrows will be in the way no matter what. Okay. Well, this room is not mimics, but clones. I guess we're getting some help pushing a keg. So it has to go here. And it could be pushed. This one's rock easy. I mean, it's not completely trivial, but it's quite easy compared to any of the other rooms in this level. Mainly because you just have full control over things instead of needing to use mimics. That was really easy. Well, I guess back to these two. Don't see what's supposed to be possible. feels like it's what the room wants me to do, but this can't work because of the red gate. How is this supposed to be possible? There's absolutely nothing else you can do in this room. You have to drop all of the trapdoors, you have to push through to every part, so you have to use all three mimics in exactly this way. You can't avoid dropping all three of these trapdoors on your way to doing that. Can't avoid making all of these arrows close. serves any purpose, but it can't be done this way. This would let me push a second mimic into this area. That doesn't really help since that's not enough. I'd still have to use all 3 mimics even if I tried to do it this way. I swear, somehow they keep winding up in the wrong move order, even though I'm doing... It feels like I'm doing whatever I need to make them swap move orders. I don't know what's going on. Okay, the one up the north goes first, so it should go to the west or the other one. So this should be correct. But it's not. Well, okay, it's not working now because I'm bumping, so... Okay, there. I don't know why that didn't work about 6 times in a row. Seems pretty much useless. Still absolutely no way to finish the room. There's no way to do this. There is absolutely no way to do this. I would have to be in this position with another mimic, but I can't do that because if there was another mimic, that means the other trapdoor was dropped, and so this red door would therefore be closed. Either I use all 3 mimics and the door is closed and I can't leave, or I only use 2 mimics and I can't leave because I need another mimic. Those are the only 2 things that can happen. Since Bithro has to be the one to drop all 2 of the other trapdoors, there's no other options. You have to use up a mimic to go past every one of these fire traps. You have to visit all 3 sections. With Bithro, you have to drop all 3 of these. You also have this. This has to also be open, not closed. Keep saying from here, like there was some previous position that made this possible, but the basic constraints just don't allow this room to be doable. You have to use 3 mimics, as far as I can tell, to be doable as far as I can tell. You have to use 3 mimics to go past 3 fire traps. You have to go past 3 fire traps because you have to drop both trapdoors. And you have to not use 3 mimics because this gate has to still be open when you get to it. So I can't both use 3 mimics and not use 3 mimics. That doesn't actually work. I can't start a mimic somewhere more useful because they have to drop all 3 of the trapdoors. So they all have to start in the least useful location possible, except one of them has to be here anyway, I guess. I still don't understand why there are plates that close the force arrows. Because there is absolutely no way to move in this room that doesn't close the force arrows anyway before you could ever make use of them, of the tiles that they're on. Like, either you're going through in the direction the force arrows point, and so they're closed when you go through, or you're not, but then they're closed as soon as you get past. So, I don't know why that's there. No way to avoid pressing the plates, and it's not particularly useful to try to go backwards anyway. If I do this, then there's no way to get a mimic into this area with Bithro, except to go all the way around, which would close both of the other ones anyway. And it's just more pain for no actual purpose. To try to do things that way. I don't see how that room's possible. It's literally a contradiction. You have to have 3 mimics, and you have to not have 3 mimics. I guess contradictions or near contradictions or whatever puzzle's based on at some level, but I don't see any way to resolve that one. So. Okay. Here I probably just missed some very specific position that lets you get past the seat. I really don't think it's possible to push the seat onto a different piece of wall. Because as demonstrated in One East, there's really only very specific ways to do that from its, a single tile wall. None of those possibilities are really present in this room. Especially with this fire trap. Somehow push it by doing that. I think so. For this to work, the mimic would need to... I think it would have to slide against where the fire trap is. Which, of course, you can't slide against a fire trap. Yeah, if this fire trap was a wall, this would be possible. Because doing this, the mimic would go east and push the seep out of the way. So I guess this is engineered specifically to make that impossible to do for some reason. Even though that seems like it should be the way this room is solved. Something like that. Or at least this start of it. Otherwise see how it's supposed to be. How it could be possible to get the seep out of the way. The tight space also makes it practically impossible to push me through. At least from what I can tell. I'm using impossible again where I probably shouldn't be. Fire trap is just really obnoxiously in the way. I was not doing the right thing. The seep was dying. And the mimic was dying, which I also needed. Illustrating the fact that you can't do this because there's a fire trap in the way. The mimic just dies if you try to do this. And and the seep also dies, which the entire point of trying to do this is for the seep to not die. The fire trap not being a wall makes this not work. Maybe that's not what you were talking about? Pushing the seeds like this. I guess you can do that, but that's not very useful either. That could work if it was facing west. But I really don't remember doing anything like that before. Possibly it can stay there. Alright, so now the actual rest of the entire rest of the room can start after that. I guess. Something like that. Yeah, okay. So my problem was I didn't notice that that was what the mimic was bumping against. Somehow I didn't notice... Well, I don't know. It it's not always visually obvious what a mimic is bumping against, you know? So that didn't really occur to me as what was happening. Like, I knew the mimic was moving east, but I don't know. Or at least after the fact, I knew it was moving east. I just didn't, like, see that at all happening. I think I'm running a bit less sleep than I probably should be. That's my best excuse for that. Far enough. Now I can get here. What's this do? This is a one-person only thing, this platform. But I clearly need the mimic to get past the fire trap. But I also need the mimic to be up where the seep is still when I'm done. I think I can get past the seep going west without the mimic's help. So I don't think I could have the mimic go south first and then drop the trap door. I guess I can try to do that. That seems unlikely to work. Space here to do that. Well, I guess I can do this. Okay, that's not as bad as I thought. Although I don't know how I'm going to finish them. Oh, maybe I might see what I'm supposed to do. In which case, you do not keep going. Somehow this has got to stay. The east side. I don't really see how to do that. don't see any way to do it. Maybe the mimic has to do that. Have I mentioned I'm running on less sleep than usual? It's not a great excuse, but there we go. And I know exactly what to do for you. Just pretend the mimic is a decoy. That might sound like a weird way to think of it, but it is. Functional. Sacrifice. Okay, only this room is left. Be nice to do this one. Taking a moment to try and understand why things are in this room. Because there are elements that seem like they serve no purpose. Like why... This really might just be for aesthetics, but why are there tunnels here? I mean, it's like, not why are there tunnels, but why are there two tunnels that link to each other? Instead of just one tunnel like usual. Why are there these force arrows here and here and here that do absolutely nothing but make it less convenient to go across? Why do these buttons close these force arrows? Why bother doing that when there's absolutely no way to get past without closing them off anyway? Hopefully that works, but I don't think it actually helps. I don't think there's any way for that to be useful. Why is there this one fire trap in a corner that serves absolutely no purpose but to be annoying? What's wrong with Is there an order I would expect for this trick? Yeah, this doesn't seem particularly helpful. That just gets him in a kill in not a particularly useful way. If you're trying to imply that something like this is somehow useful here, I don't really see it. This doesn't really solve any of the problems, and it just creates a new one, which is that it kills a mimic in the process of moving it. Like, at least if I leave two of them behind and these one push me through, then I'll end up with 3 mimics in the starting area. It's at least theoretically possible to then use the other 2 to do something. Maybe push them past. Doing that multi-push just kills a mimic for no purpose. To achieve nothing new. this can end with B throwing one mimic in the north chamber, not with two. But the only way for this kind of thing to push two tiles, is if the one that goes first, for it to push two tiles is if the one that goes first pushes and then is pushed. That's the only way this can go two tiles. And if that happens, then one of them will get killed. There's no avoiding that. And one of them will be left behind, and there's no avoiding that either. Like, the one that pushes last has to stay where it is. And the one that pushes first, like, whatever is pushed by this one is always going to wind up on a fire trap no matter what. There's no way that can get past a fire trap if it's only being pushed one time. The entire way that something like this even works in the first place is that A pushes B pushes C because C goes first, then B, then A. That's how this kind of movement works. sure this is happening because the plate is activated as soon as something is pushed onto it. So something is pushed onto the plate when this mimic's turn goes off. And there's a force arrow in the way, but this mimic's turn would go off. Which happens in that situation, though. There's absolutely no way for a multi-push to result from that. Stepping sideways with everybody stack on top of each other. That doesn't really make a multi-push happen. You're in this situation. If you try to move, the only thing that will happen is that whatever can move first will, and then everything that comes after whatever can move first will always be blocked by sticks. This is never going to result in any kind of multi-push whatsoever. The only way for a set of positions like this to result in a multi-push is if it's a turn. Move in the same direction everyone's facing, and that would do a multi-push in that situation, but that's not what you were saying. a stick. Why would that work? Road's moving first. Then after that, okay. So in this situation, Ether moves and then the moving stick is on him, but his stick is not in the way of the mimic. Okay. I still don't see how this is going to wind up with. Let's see. Create more of this situation. Instantly doesn't work anymore. Yep. I shuffled in the corner somewhat. Doesn't seem particularly helpful. I can see absolutely no reasoning for how having a force arrow block weapon could ever help. All that does is give less pushes. Trying to see if diagonal movements somehow I think so. I'm inclined to say that this is definitely bordering on magic move sequence territory, where basically you need to psychically guess the exact thing that the architect figured out you could do, with not really any hints besides the constraints of the room that you're supposed to be capable of doing that thing. So like there's no hints as to what the positioning is supposed to be or anything like that. You're just supposed to guess exactly what the architect did, and said, oh, that's neat, let me make a room that requires you to do that thing. I don't know, in my opinion, the thing that makes a really great puzzle as opposed to just a pretty good one is not having exactly one path to the actual solution. Like, a truly great puzzle has enough room for a player, like, to think and express themselves a little bit. It's complex enough that there are multiple solutions that are all different, but still, like, not trivial. And you're at the point where there's only one, I don't know, there is something to be said, I guess, for a focused design where there's only one thing that you can do, and that's what works. You have to be really a lot more careful with that in some cases, I guess. Since that's an easy road to frustration, not having more than one way to do something. Alright, I'm inclined to go check HMS and see if someone has posted about this room. It seems plausible that someone should have. I guess it answers one thing to note that this is a Larry Merck room. Is this an entire Larry Merck level? Gotta have a look now. Unfortunately, the hint amounts to just do the thing that I've been trying to do. But not really as far as the execution of how to do it. There's some kind of setup. Oh, could that be it? I just thought this had promise since it seems to go farther. This runs into the same problem with that door closing instantly. Let me go look. Oh, I have to remake the script instantly. That's my fault. Place that I can only be existing currently south of a bunch of fireflies. Whoever's in the middle here is going to wind up getting killed though. I guess only particular move orders will work with that. Hey, yeah. Alright, well, I was hoping to finish this room and this level today, and then just move on to other things next time. I think at this point I may post in the thread just asking for either a demo or a screenshot of what it's supposed to be, and then come back and actually finish this next time, which should be very short if I have, like, an indication of what's supposed to work. Anyway, sorry if my ability to think has been more lackluster than usual today, but aside from getting annoyed at a few things, a lot of this did get done. Anyway, I should be back as usual next Saturday, and so I will look forward to that. Thank you for watching. I will try to be a little bit better rested next Saturday as well, and that may also help.